You like the look and feel of your AI-generated images, but somehow you miss the control? I'm not Jason Statham, but shout out to my idol, I'm Benjamin from Cogniwerk. And today we'll explore the basics of ControlNet. This is the secret behind the finely controlled AI-generated images. So you first learn what is ControlNet, how it works, and why it's a game changer for artists and developers alike. So ControlNet is an advanced AI technique that enhances diffusion models by adding external networks for extra control. It lets you use different inputs like depth maps, edge detection, or human poses to guide the image generation process. Instead of retraining an entire model, ControlNet leverages existing weights for efficient fine-tuning. So imagine AI as an artist creating from a blank canvas. You see this drawing over here. It does so with its own ideas of topics and also of composition or structures, for example. A ControlNet now is another model which is, yes, like an art director and providing instructions on composition, on depth, and also on structure. So the main model, the diffusion model over here, the artist, remains unchanged and focusing on the drawing itself. So the ControlNet, the art director, processes additional inputs like depth maps or outlines or poses just to guide this artist. So for example, the art director ensures the correct perspective by using depth maps, or it helps position figures with pose detection, just like guiding the artist on where to place each element. So in some tools, you also see options like control strength or starting control, ending control steps, and these tell the model with how strictly to follow this guidance. So a low strength gives the artist more freedom, while a high strength is likely shouting instructions too much and the result might be a little bit off. So let's talk a little bit about these control steps. So when this generative AI generates a picture, it does so in certain steps, from a blurry, fuzzy image to a concrete image of a person, a dog, or whatsoever. The control steps here you see engage with each of these generation steps and guide this generative AI to the following outcome. And these control steps, they define when the model should start and stop the following of the guidance, ensuring the balance of creativity and accuracy. So for example, here in this graph, the ControlNet would start at the beginning and stop at the end, but you can also skip one of these processes so that the artist or the generative AI in the end has a little bit more freedom over the end results, for example. So of course, you could have something like a fine-tuned generative AI on a certain condition where you see like that you put a lot of images of a certain outcome you want to see in your AI, but then you have a fine-tuned model which cannot do anything else. But if you work, for example, with a ControlNet, then you have a secondary model which is smaller and just gives some instructions to the overall model, which in this case remains intact and has also the strength of the base model. So I set here a very simple workflow in a tool named ComfyUI, and if I run it without the ControlNet, you see I have a prompt here, raw photography, a smiling pirate standing at the beach with long flowing dark hair, showing a peace sign and so on. And I get these images of this pirate. So sometimes there is a peace sign, sometimes it looks a little bit weird. But as soon as I enable the ControlNet and I generate the images again, then I get like 4 beautiful images with the exact control I want to have. And there you can see, I zoom in a little bit, that all of these 4 images have the exact same pose, and they all show this pirate having wavy hair and the peace sign, making the peace sign. So I use this image here, for example, as the guiding condition, and you can really see the closeness on the relatedness of this image and the outcome. So let me guide you through the process. First of all, we have this checkpoint here. This is the diffusion model, and we have the ControlNet model. So it's both separate models, and they interfere with each other. So we have the ControlNet model, and it uses something called a preprocessor. And the preprocessor actually works as a small preprocessor which preprocesses this image into something called soft edge map. And the base model then uses this image to create an image which could also align with this soft edge model, as you can see over here. So if I, for example, then use something different as an image, and I put in something like this guy, and I run the same again, you can see that the soft edge image changes, and so does also the image itself. And now for the last part. Here I have this module called Apply ControlNet. And there you have it, the strength and the start percent and the end percent. Now I put in the strength of 0.5, which is not that high, but I can of course give it a higher strength, for example 1.5. I hit generate again. And you can see that it not only really follows the guiding condition, but it also got something like artifacts. So the model itself is kind of yelled at, as I showed earlier in the example, and does not really know what to do. It has broken overbaked style. So be sure that you always use something which is not really a really high value over here, but something more in the 80-ish, 90-ish area. And you got something where you really are balancing the strength of the ControlNet and also the flexibility and creativity of the base model. So in the end, why should you care? I mean, ControlNet allows precise control over your AI image generations, making it perfect for creating high detailed images from complex prompts. For artists, it means more creativity with less trial and error. For developers, it's an efficient way to control your generations without fine-tuning the model from scratch. So ControlNet offers unparalleled in precision and control in AI image generation, and there are so many possibilities from, for example, depth maps over here, or segmentations maps, or scribbles, or even poses. If you want to explore more, there's a YouTuber called Cowboy, did a fantastic deep dive, and the link is in the comments below. So subscribe for more tutorials on cutting-edge AI tools and leave a comment with your ControlNet experiences. Take care and see you in the next video. Bye!